Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? My name is Josiah Moody. I am one of the lucky peer certified educators in the Academic Support Center, and I'm here to bring to you the great presentation on unfriending procrastination. If you know me, you know I'm going to get straight to it. I don't like to procrastinate, and I'm trying to help people learn on how to minimize it, because even though I hate to procrastinate, there are times that I do it without even noticing it. And to combat that, what we'll do today is give you guys a few tips and tricks on how to unfriend procrastination, especially while being on this campus. What is procrastination? Well, definition of procrastination is delaying tasks despite knowing there will be a negative consequence. The types, you have active and passive. Now, active procrastination is choosing to delay tasks intentionally. That can be such as, okay, me saying, oh, I know I have a homework assignment, but I would do it later on in the daytime. Passive procrastination is involuntary delay due to avoidance or fear. Now, you can have it in the back of your head and know that you have a paper or essay coming up in a few days or a few weeks, but because you have the fear of being tired, maybe performing not as well as you would like to, or just, you know, the feeling of laziness at times, you passively are procrastinating. You're not saying in your head, oh, I'm going to do it later. You're kind of just putting it off. Now, even though if you are saying in your head, there are two, like you could verbally say actively, oh, I'm not going to do it later. And you could say it in your head as well. But when you choose not to think about something and know that you have something coming up, that is when you passively procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate? Well, there are psychological and environmental factors. The psychological is fear of failure, which is the anxiety of not being able to meet expectations, perfectionism, waiting for the perfect moment or conditions on when you should perform that task, and lack of motivation, low energy or interest in the task. Now, the environmental factors include distractions, overuse of social media, TV. That could be going outside, partying. That can be wanting to just enjoy, maybe even fear of missing out. And poor time management, just having a difficulty prioritizing tasks. Some people come to college and it's their first times being away from home without having a parent on your back telling you do your homework or looking over your work, or even having high school teachers sitting there telling you every single day to check your homework or pull it out, because a lot of these assignments are kind of done independently. And if you fail to accomplish those assignments, then that kind of only falls on you and not really anybody else. High school teachers, their job is at risk, things, and even in college, if everybody's failing, then that's a big thing. But normally it kind of falls on one person, and that's you. Professors are going to get paid regardless. They're here, they have their PhD, they've been teaching these classes for years. That's just kind of how it goes. Now, things change and things happen, but we're talking about the likelihood of things going on, especially here on our campus. Strategies to overcome procrastination. Now, you can set some goals, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. An example of that can be a specific goal. I want to be able to dunk a basketball. Measurable. How would I know that? What time span? Okay, what's the chances of me being able to dunk a basketball? Okay, if I practice, this amount of times while working out, for this amount of time throughout the week, what is the time span between the time? Now I can say maybe 3 months. I'll be able to dunk a basketball in 3 or 4 months. That's the measure. Achievable. Now, if you are 4'11" and have never played basketball in your life, never worked out, there is a really less likely chance that you will be able to dunk a basketball. So let's make goals that are more achievable rather than just saying anything and kind of just throwing out ideas that may not be too likely to happen. So, and I'm not saying don't set high goals for yourself and don't try to achieve beyond, but let's be realistic with ourselves. Relevant. If I wanted to say I'm trying to dunk a basketball, why would I be sitting out there doing football drills? That's an irrelevant task to the goal that I'm trying to accomplish. If I want to be able to dunk a basketball, I should be out there doing cone drills with basketball, these type of different things. I wouldn't be sitting out there trying to hit a baseball. Oh, this is going to help me learn how to dunk. That makes no exact sense at all. And time bound. Like I said before, the length of time that you want to accomplish that goal. So say I want to be able to dunk in 3 months, that's the time-bound aspect of it. Now, the next goals, you can break tasks into smaller steps, making the task more manageable rather than just trying to jump at it and overwhelm yourself and not necessarily understand what's going on. Break it down slowly for yourself. If you know that you have to write a huge essay, maybe one day out the week write 30 sentences. Maybe the next day, maybe write 2 paragraphs, whatever it may be. Do it within a time that you may not want to overwhelm yourself and in a decent time frame from when the assignment is due in the few weeks. Now, create a plan, a to-do list, daily or weekly tasks to focus on. Time block, allocate specific times for tasks. Whether say I'm gonna wash my clothes in the evening, do those things and actually do it. Use productivity techniques. Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break if you get too overwhelmed, or that's just a way to keep yourself motivated. And then 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, then just do it really fast. Like if your teacher hands you an assignment in class and you're about to get ready and leave class and go home for the day, go work on that assignment for maybe the first few minutes you get in your door. Don't wait all day and then you see it and then it might slip your mind because it's so easy and you think you have time. Just get it out the way when it's the first thing fresh on your mind. More strategies. Manage distractions. Designate a workspace. Separate an area for work and relaxation. Limit your social media and phone use. Use apps to block distracting sites. Improve your motivation. Reward yourself. Set up small rewards for completed tasks. It could be I'm going to get myself a Starbucks coffee after the day ends, or I'm going to the union to get me a meal. It could be something as small as that, and visualize your success. Imagine the positive outcomes for completing tasks. When you see these things, and you're like, I know when I graduate, I can see myself walking across that stage. You're visualizing these things. You're seeing it happen right in front of you. Build healthy habits. Regular routine. Establish a consistent daily schedule. Get a planner for Christ's sakes. Do something. Self-care. Ensure that you get adequate sleep, exercise, and relaxation. Go to the gym. These are things that keep your body and your mind pumping. Going to the gym, walking around the campus, drinking water, just making sure you're taking care of your body because these are all things that help you. Implementing a change and maintaining that change. Track your progress. You could use a journal or an app to monitor your achievements and setbacks. Reflect regularly. Adjust strategies based on what works best for you. Talk about the things that work for you and the things that don't. Be honest with yourself. Stay accountable. Find an accountability partner, somebody that shares the goals and progress with you. Join a support group. Participate in groups that focus on productivity and self-improvement. A lot of people may want to do a lot of social groups and join social groups that don't necessarily gear towards positive aspects. A lot of things that is promoted is maybe negative things such as parties or drinking or whatever it may be. Find people with a positive mindset for school. Adapt and adjust. Be flexible, modify strategies as needed to fit your evolving needs. Celebrate success. Acknowledge and reward yourself for progress. Now, to conclude, overcoming procrastination is a continuous process that involves self-awareness, practical strategies, and persistence, and might I add, discipline. Now, some people may say discipline is the biggest thing when it comes to procrastination, but it's the fact that you're aware that you are kind of procrastinating that is important, and kind of tackling those things that are negatively affecting you. Now, if you have any further questions about procrastination that you feel like I may not have answered, or some advice that you feel like I could have pushed on and I didn't, come down to the academic center, see me, and ask for some more tips because I will be glad to help find some more. And I have a great amount of resources here in this department, even in the McAfee building, that can definitely help whatever you need. So without further ado, let's go ahead and continue. I have a few resources. Book, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. The Now Habit by Neil Fjord. Some websites, productivity blogs, and time management apps. There are some TED Talks and some videos about overcoming procrastination on YouTube if you'd like to check those out. And there's some more books. 51 Tips for Academic Success. We actually have that book actually here on campus. So if you come find me, you can get these more tips. And as well, we can go through some things and see how it works for you. The Academic Support Center, it is McAfee, room 2230. If you walk around, it's a big circle of McAfee. You will be able to find it right there. And you'll be able to find all of those resources right in front of you. Without further ado, I thank you and appreciate you for coming, and take some of these tips personal and actually listen, because before you will think about it, it can actually benefit you in a positive way. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your day.